Gigantamax is out in Pokemon Go, and from what I've heard in other communities, we have a little bit of a problem, maybe you could call it a gigantic problem in Pokemon Go, because these Gigantamax Pokemon are apparently extremely hard to take down. And today I am in the Midwest. I'm actually in Naperville, Illinois, and we're gonna go and check out in the local community that is pretty rich to see how hard these Pokemon are actually to take down and what the problem is. And then I'm gonna give you guys some feedback on what my thoughts are about the Gigantamax system, especially in a rich, robust community. And I'm obviously gonna take into account everybody else's communities, the sizes and everything like that. But most importantly, let's get into the video. We got to do our first Gigantamax Pokemon. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. So with that said, guys, we are making our way, everybody's up there. They just did this Venusaur. I saw in a distance when I was pulling up that there were a bunch of people signifying by the top of the raid in this specific raid battle, and I clicked in. Unfortunately, I was not able to get here in time, but there was 36 people in with a max of 40. The one problem about this system is that I haven't invested too much in these Dynamax Pokemon, which I'm assuming that I'm probably gonna have to evolve some. And the other problem is that as we make our way over here, which is going to be, I think, this Blastoise. Oh, that other Blastoise is seeming like where everybody's going. So I'm gonna have to kind of walk a little faster. That these Pokemon are best served with their Community Day moves. And unfortunately right now, what that would look like is Elite Charge TMs, which are paid for the most part. Yes, you can get free ones in PvP and stuff like that, but you know, I kind of tell you guys to save your resources and everything like that. And you know, I truly believe that in this game. It's better to be patient and let these things happen. And I know when a new system comes out, everybody gets excited. They want to do all these things, but that can become quite costly. And this system definitely appears to be costly right now. Let's go ahead and check out this Gigantamax. I can't see 25 people. So I'm gonna have to kind of book it up here through whatever's going on right here so we can make it into this battle. Okay, so we do have our first battle going down right here. I am not equipped for this. So let's see what happens. You know, I have a Gengar in here that's not the right typing. This is a Gigantamax Blastoise, and I'm assuming this thing is gonna absolutely slap me right there. Imagine if these things were actually as strong as they are and they actually deliver the moves strength that they actually are, which they don't. They don't deliver these move sets. Oh yeah, I am horribly inequipped for this. There's no way, dude. I'm gonna need to power some Pokemon up and evolve to be able to make this happen. Wow. Okay, I'm getting destroyed right now, okay? I am... Okay, that was pathetic. So I guess I'm just gonna keep tapping for everybody to cheer them on and help get them with this Dynamax, because I am of absolutely no use right now. So it's gonna take some resources. There were, I think there was 33 people in this. It does look like they will be able to beat it, but I am not going to be of help at this point in time. So I'm going to sit here and cheer to help with their allied meters. And we're going to see what happens. Will they be able to beat this and carry me into a catch? And then I might have to evolve and power up some Pokemon and do some things that I really didn't want to do. So here's one thing that I also think is that you guys should save all of these Dynamax Pokemon that you do for a trade event. This is something that I've been thinking about for a while. So save it for a trade event, and then what you're gonna do is you are going to trade when there's a boosted lucky odds for a trade event, because that's gonna serve, right? That's gonna be good. It's gonna be helpful. Man, I got lucky here. 36 Pokemon, somebody just got hit out. We're gonna cheer you guys to victory here. 29 Pokemon. Look at that go down. I think we got it. I mean, I didn't get it. They got it. Good job, team. And I've also heard that they have been a little challenging to catch as well. One XL Squirtle Candy. That was 30,000 XP. I'm gonna go ahead and skip this one because none of those Pokemon are gonna be useful in there. 50,000 XP, 10 Premier Balls and more. Let's go ahead and see. 1392 here. I do believe that the hundo is... Okay, we missed that. Is 1409 on the Blastoise. And if I want to do more of these, I'm gonna have to pay. Wow, we caught it too. Okay, I saw yesterday that they were having trouble catching these and they were a little bit more challenging. So I don't know if they nerfed them just a tad. see what this is. That's gonna be a 14, 12, 15. All right, guys, so we're here with, what's your name, man?
Spook.
Spook. All right, so you guys are down here. How many groups do you think are down here right now in Naperville?
For sure, 2 groups with us.
2 groups?
In the start, we had 35. Another group, I think, had 35 as well.
Okay.
So 2 groups here.
So 2 groups of 35?
Yeah.
All right. And then, so have you beaten all of these Gigantamaxes?
Yeah, we beat all of them.
Okay.
In the beginning, we had to wait for a couple guys, but we beat all the raids.
Were any of them like too challenging?
The Charizards are the hardest one. For
Okay.
Sure. The
Okay.
Charizards are the hardest one.
Really?
The Blastoise are the easiest one.
Okay. And why is the Charizard hardest? It just hits hard?
It hits the hardest. So if you start at the beginning with the Blastoise, and then you end like the last 2-3 raids with Charizard, and you have Blastoise as your Gigantamax once, you should be fine.
Okay.
But the beginning is always the hardest for sure, though.
And then, so you were talking about like strategies when you have less people. So you want to run by that, like?
Yeah, I think if one guy is like the shielding your group, and the other 2 guys are hitting, and one guy is healing, it helps everybody in the group just because your Pokemon are not dying as fast.
Yeah.
But once everybody dies, you have the opportunity to cheer everybody, and then the thing
like
charges
me?
up. Yeah, like you. Yeah, you can. So you're able to like cheer on the rest of the team, and the charge thing charges up quicker for everybody to use their ability.
Okay. And then, so how much do you think you've spent to be able to get this to where you're at right now?
Right now?
Yeah, to play in these.
Like $45 just for
40
now,
bucks?
just for today.
Just for today?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so this is definitely a pay-to-win system for sure. So if you don't think you did that, do you think it would be as effective?
No, I don't think so. You're very limited to, I think each raid is like 800 particles.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to collect, I think, per day 1,000.
Yeah.
So you're not able to do one a day.
Yeah.
So it's very hard.
And then you have to level up, right? So you've leveled up the moves on a couple of them?
Yeah, on one of them, yeah.
Man, that's crazy. So, but besides that, what do you think about this? The system, everything, honesty.
I don't know. I'm very like in between the lines. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it.
Okay.
If I like it or I don't like it. But as of right now, we're just hanging out with everybody. I like it just because of the community, not so much because of the game.
Right. And I guess sometimes things in life you pay to participate in, right? So it's no different than doing that. But I mean, it's kind of an extensive system. I mean, at the same time, for me, it's like, I think things in the game should be challenging, right? Because then it kind of brings about a new strategy. Because the raid system's kind of like, you can beat it so fast. It's like you don't even need strategy anymore. So I understand, but then at the same time, you want to be able to beat these things and catch them.
Yeah, for the smaller communities, it's going to suck because if you only have like 10 people in your group who
Yeah.
are ongoing, and obviously you need more than 30 for these.
Right.
So it's going to be very hard for your group to accomplish these. If not, you're going to have to go to a bigger group, drive a while to meet them, and then it's going to be harder to coordinate with them because they have their own rhythm, obviously. So then you're not used to them at the rhythm, and you won't be able to do it in your community. It's going to be a lot harder for small groups to achieve this.
Definitely. I think we might not beat this one.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think there's 4 Pokemon fighting, and we're very close to it. I mean, look at the health on it.
Did you use any elite TMs?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Not right now, no.
Because the crazy thing, the crazy thing is though, like if you want these Pokemon, well, I guess because you do use that's interesting. Okay, because you're going to use the Gigantamax, so you really want the particles to get their moves up.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll see if we beat this, man.
Yeah, no, I don't think we are.
I don't think we're going to beat this.
I think it's
2 people.
The good thing is if you back out and you go back in,
you
don't lose your particles.
Right.
So you're able to go back in, and then not
Going back in.
Yeah. So if you click to go in.
Yeah.
You don't waste any particles. You just go immediately back in. So that's a good part about it.
Yeah, I need to like evolve some Pokemon here, I feel like. All right, round 2. So we have 35 peeps, 37.
37.
All right.
Nice, man. All right, now we're going to get it for sure now.
Yeah, now we're definitely going to get it. Yeah, the rare XL candy's nice. 1387, 1382. All right, guys, we got a shiny. Nice, dude. That's sick, bro. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, 1382 is definitely not that. All right, man, what do you think of the Gigantamax system right now?
I personally like it.
Yeah.
I've been doing it hard since it started. I was in Maryland when it started. Did it for a while there. I think it's a good system. I think they need to change some things about how much it costs to lower the cost of it or to give us more particles per day.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's a good system.
Cool. So what do you think about the Gigantamax and Dynamax?
I think it's a really fun system, especially for an area like this where we have a really strong community with 40 plus people that we can walk around and raid. I feel a little bad for people in more rural areas, though. It's really hard to get together to do these Dynamax raids. I mean, we struggled with like 30+ people to do some of these raids, so I think it's a fun system for us, but I hope they implement it in a way that's easier for people in more rural areas.
What do you think about the system?
I think it's a pretty good system. A little hard in the beginning. If they can like make it a little lower amount of people in the later run, because right now 30+ people is pretty hard to beat, but it's a good system. 25,000 XP is a good amount, and yeah, I like it. It's pretty fun.
All right, so what's your experience with Dynamax and Gigantamax so far?
Dynamax, it's been pretty fun. I know the 1 stars and 2, 3 stars have been pretty decent, but so far the Gigantamax, I think they really need to lower just a little bit on the difficulty, and I guess the catch rate. I mean, I just had 2 Blastoise run on me, so that wasn't fun. But and then the cost also. Maybe just tone it down just a bit. I mean, I know we have Gengar coming up, and then we also have Toxtricity coming up with the wild area. And I just think, you know, they could make a lot of money just by lowering it and by increasing the catch rates for everyone to do them. So, yeah.
So if they don't lower it, how will that affect you participating?
It's going to affect me already. I mean, it already affects me. I haven't been really doing, like the 3-star raids. I kind of messed out on Beldum because, if I'm being honest, there's not that many spots where I'm at. So I can't really do the raids anyways.
And so that's why you came out here.
Yeah, that's why I came out here. Once they do decide to change it, but if they don't, then it's obviously going to go downhill from here. So
cool, bro. Thank you. All right, man. What do you think of Gigantamax Dynamax system?
They're kind of fun, but I think it's hard for rural players, you know. 40 people is kind of a lot. 30 people, like if you only have 20 people, it's, you know, kind of sets the precedence too, a little iffy just in case Tournamax might come out. What are they going to say? You need 100 people to go to it. I mean, it's a little scary the way they set the floor, but hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully they'll tweak it a little bit. Hopefully once everyone gets good Gigantamax, you can maybe do it with 10 people, 15 people, maybe if you max out your stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, totally. So have you maxed out any Pokemon?
Me, not none of these. I'm waiting to see if I get good IVs or to find out what happens. I just maxed out like a bunch of Shadows to level 50. They were like 3-star. They were like decent, you know. But I was like, when is it? I'm gonna maybe, but it's like, when does it stop? Right. So when's the precedence? And I heard people recommending evolve their Charizards and their Dynamaxes to do these, and then it's like, so you 50 max your Charizard Dynamax, and now you get a good Gigantamax, and now it's like you want to 50 max that one, and then you got a Mega, and it's like some, you know what I mean? So I like it though. I'm just saying that the precedence is a little bit. Where do you draw the line, so to speak?
And we've learned a lot about that in the game too, right? Where it's been like you've maxed something and you're like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Right. Or max this one now instead, or you got this one, but now it's got the Dyna, so now you got to do this one. Oh, you got the Dynamax 50, now here comes the Giganta. And I'm just worried they're like testing us on how many people will come, and I'm worried that down the line only big areas will be able to do it, you know.
It's totally
and it could be like, oh, lots of people came to do 40, let's do 50, 60, 80, so.
No doubt. Cool, man. Thank you.
I love the idea and the concept behind the Gigantamax stuff. It's really cool being out here with everyone in the community and getting this stuff done, but having a limit where you need at least 30 to 40 people is tough, because we tried at first with 25. A little spotty. We got close, but didn't make it. But then the moment we got 30, 35, it ended up happening, you know, it ended up being fine. But as more people come, easier it gets, which is great. But those rural communities and the communities that don't have that many people, like, you're just really putting them in a bottleneck where they're missing out on some really cool aspect of the game, and then they just don't get it. So it's really unfortunate in that sense, but it's a cool idea, just I think needs to be executed a little bit differently.
And so you think you need to be a little bit easier?
I don't want to say easy, because I do like the idea of a challenge for things, but maybe the quantity of people, it's really tough, because you are neglecting areas that don't have the quantity of people. Again, we're fortunate in this area, you know, there's at least 80 to 150 people down here playing right now, but you know, you go about an hour away and there's maybe 5 people that are trying to play, so it's just really tough in that sense.
And then how long have you been playing for?
Since 2016.
Okay.
I've been on and off since 2016. So started, I was actually in high school when it started. I went to this high school right here, actually. Right after school, we'd all go down to the park at the Bell Tower and play for a while. But I've been on and off since, because when I didn't have people to play with, it wasn't as fun. But now that there's a bigger community, I'm a little bit older, it's a little bit easier to meet new people. Definitely play a lot more consistently.
Okay. And so from playing over the years, what have you learned about being consistent with how they roll out new things and powering stuff up and the like that?
It's definitely important to be very consistent, right? Because I missed out on a lot of good stuff, a lot of good Pokemon that I don't have. So now I'm playing catch up, trying to go out to all these events and making sure I get enough candy to evolve these things, or even getting these things in the first place. So consistency, I think, is key, and a lot of things, and Pokemon is one of them too.
Yeah. And then, so how likely are you to like how much would you spend in a weekend to play this?
Oh man,
are you open to spending?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a guy. I'm not a materialistic guy. I don't buy expensive clothes or shoes or anything. So when I do spend money, it's typically on gaming related stuff. So I'm always down to drop money on Pokemon. Niantic has my credit card and they know it. So.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, and we actually have a Charizard right now. We got the reset, and it's putting my Metagross in there, which doesn't seem like a good idea at all. Okay, let's just try this. I know, bad idea on the back end, but hey, 2 Gigantamax, so we'll be able to see our first Gigantamax evolution. 1392 is the best. I suggest for sure that you guys are saving anything that you do this weekend, at least for a lucky trade event, where they're gonna boost the lucky odds so you guys can swap these things. And then for me personally, I don't know if I'm gonna be as concerned about the IVs, because I've been super concerned about IVs, but right now to be able to compete, having these things as obviously, 98 hundos would be amazing, but at the same time, I'm more interested in not spending as much Stardust on these. I have plenty of candy, especially on all the starters and most of these Pokemon, that I think I would be more apt to power up a lucky Pokemon and be able to go that way as opposed to the reverse way. But that's my feeling right now. We're obviously gonna have a review video as well, so we'll see. All right, guys, the Charizard is on the way. This one has Flash Cannon, not good there. But hey, we will get ourselves there eventually. All right, the Gigantamax is coming into play. Let's see how this one does fare against this. This is not powering it up. This is no move increases. Cannonade, Gmax Cannonade. Okay, we can get down with that. All right, well that's definitely much better. Let's see. And we're still on our first Pokemon. It hasn't done a charged attack yet. So it seems like the play is to just at least get Gigantamax Pokemon and then use those against this one. All right, well, easy enough. But we also have 7 people in here. Man, those meters fill up quick when the parties are huge. Such cool graphics. All right, move number 1. This Charizard is gonna go down real efficiently here. I don't even think I've taken any damage yet. Move number 2, are we frozen? No, we're good. And then move number 3 coming up next. That would be a cool shiny though, that Gmax Charizard. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the graphics of these battles are actually amazing. And there it goes. Wow, that was the easiest one that we've ever done, at least to date, for sure. And the last one I need to do is gonna be the Venusaur. Haven't done that one yet. All right, the moment of truth, guys. Can we get ourselves a shiny? Did you just get the Blastoise too?
I got the Blastoise. Yeah.
No way. Let me see. All right, guys. Like I said, that shiny is crazy, bro. Wow. Congrats, dude.
Thanks,
that looks amazing. All right, here we go.
Yeah, me too.
That is a non-shiny. 10, 13, 10. Wow, it goes lower than that. That's absolutely insane. All right, guys, we have something pretty cool. So number 1, we have the shiny here, which looks incredible. I already knew that was gonna look amazing. But also, it's a 96 shiny 1642. How do you feel?
Oh, I'm so happy.
I heard your scream and I was like, did you get a hundo?
Yeah, no. I really want a good one so I can have the Mega too. So
yeah.
I just use this one Charizard.
Oh man, how cool. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, so I've only done a couple of raids, so I don't really know what the shiny rates are. I saw a couple of people get shinies off the first one. It seems as if the shiny rates are a little bit higher than regular raids, which is good. The other thing is like, you want to do one of each of these so you can at least get the Gigantamax version of all these Pokemon, because it seems like from my experience there, well, the first battle I had nothing powered up. Then I powered up a Dynamax, made it a little bit better, but when I had the 2 Gigantamax Blastoises in, untouched, in against the Charizard, and it seemed like a lot of people probably did the same thing, and granted, we did have a big group, a lot of people in the community, it was much easier to take down. So the first battle is maybe a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a learning curve. But like I said, everything's kind of a learning curve in this game, and it's almost as if maybe they do have a plan for this stuff, but stuff does come up. And so one of my biggest problems about the Dynamax and Gigantamax system is I've already invested so heavily in my Pokemon teams, and I've already powered up multiple of these Pokemon to level 50. I have my Charizards, my Blastoise, my Venusaur, you know, and all these other Pokemon, my Metagross, things like that. I just maxed out a Metagross for the Dynamax, and I actually think that the system is really cool. I like it. It's new, it's fresh, the Pokemon are cool, they have new effects. I think they did a fantastic job with the graphics. I wish you could dodge moves, that would be pretty cool. Because like, if you look at Monster Hunter, the way you can move in Monster Hunter is really, really cool. You can swipe around, you can dodge and things like that. And I know that Pokemon isn't really that type of game, but not being able to dodge kind of inhibits that. And I get that they have the Max Guard and they have the Max Heal, which does help with that system. But at the same time, you know, it's kind of cool to have some type of input. But the problems that I'm seeing here is, number one, like a lot of people just mentioned in this video, the smaller communities at first are definitely gonna struggle. And I've always heard this as a part of this game, and I fortunately have always lived in areas that have bigger communities. Like Smyrna has a massive community, or at least did have a massive community when I lived there, massive. And you know, Smyrna is a suburb of Atlanta, so obviously, you know, you can go to some pretty popular places around there. Naperville, massive community. Extremely popular to play around this area. Oregon in Bend, huge community, very active players. So for people that don't have the means to be able to do this, it's gonna be a little bit disappointing. It will be maybe challenging. And I think that that's just how this game is in some regard, right? Like I know that like I would love for everybody to be able to do this, and I'm not saying that this is something that I believe, but in some regard, when you're having a POI based game around AR and GPS, the areas that are heavily populated are going to be advantaged, and the areas that aren't are not, unfortunately. And I don't know if there's anything you could really do about that. I really don't know if there's anything that can be done about that, except for go to a different area. I think that they purposely redesigned this system so that they could use particles instead of battle passes, and so that it can be scaled up and down based on the rarity of the raid. And so like I thought was gonna happen is that the rarer raids, such as the Gigantamax raids, is gonna be the 800 particles that you can collect, the same amount that you can collect per day. And that's gonna be like participating in one 5-star raid, right? Which is available right now. Or, which I think is a benefit of the system, you could participate in a much lower raid, a lower rarity raid, and a lower challenging raid for 250 particles, which is something that I think that is very missed out on the current raid system. So we do have that point to cover as well. I think that the Gigantamax Pokemon look crazy cool. I didn't think that we were gonna get this fast, but that's also something to take into account. And the other problem that I see is just the general cost of this. So in order to power up these moves and have these moves that obviously that I saw in action do really well, was the Max Shield and the Max Heal. And so you need particles to be able to do that. And so throughout the week, you're either spending money on these particles to be able to raid, or you're not participating in the Dynamax raids throughout the week so that you can power up some of these moves. And that's different than what we've had in the past, where it's been, I can grind for this, I have the candy for this, I have the Stardust for this, and then I can go ahead and use that. So that's another downside that I'm seeing, is that it's like using a raid battle pass to power up a move set. And using a raid battle pass to power up a move set becomes problematic. It's a pay to play system. And you could manage that and just not participate in that system until you get it there. And I think that's probably what I would recommend right now, guys, is don't go gangbusters on all these things unless you absolutely need it. And just as a reminder, guys, everything is just in its infancy. It's just starting out. So they're gonna be fine tuning, making adjustments. I know we all might have all these big emotions right now, but don't forget that things are gonna get refined. It's better to start the bar high and challenging and move it a little bit easier and less expensive than to do the reverse. That's something that I've heard talked about, and a learning experience is that they started too low, and it's hard to raise those things. Imagine when the remote raid passes were low and then they went high. How are your emotions during that? Mine were very high because I built an entire community over 2.5 years that was destroyed in one decision. And I could imagine what you guys feel. And then at the reverse situation, if they would have started the remote passes high, let's say $2 per remote raid pass, then it would have been a different experience. So I get what they're doing, and maybe they're just a little out of touch with how they made some of these decisions, or maybe they're not. Maybe this is exactly what they wanted. But once again, one of the problems I have is that, you know, for somebody like myself I've literally barely taken that much time off of this game since day one. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I started day one, took some time off. I haven't really. I only can think of a few days that I haven't actually done at least minimum my dailies, right? And then I started making content, and the content became part of my life. So I've done a lot of extensive field research in Pokemon Go. Playing the game, experiencing the game, see people playing the game, playing it all over the world. So I think I have some pretty good experience. And not only that, I've done it at a relatively high level, not PvP, but you know, I've seen people do it at a high level. So I wouldn't be somebody that you would come to and ask to help develop the PvP system. But when there's systems like this going into play, I would think that they could take some feedback from somebody like myself that I could help out with these systems, you know? And so that's something that I feel disappointed in, is that I can't help at a different level to try to avoid some of these pain points that I feel like are probably avoidable. And the last thing that bothers me about this system that I'm just gonna touch on here is that the retrograding of all these Pokemon that I powered up. I talked about it, but it's gonna bother me again, so I'm gonna talk about it again, is that I really wanna be able to use my Pokemon. So whether I have to battle for it, I have to earn that Pokemon in, or I could just go raid for it. Why can we not earn something in this game? It's always seeming to be paid to get. Like, why can I not go out there and earn the chance to Dynamax my Pokemon? I feel like that's fair. It's fair for me to be able to go out and use one specific Pokemon, battle it 1,000 times after it becomes my buddy, and then I earned that Pokemon's ability to become a Dynamax or a Gigantamax. That seems fair to me. Or I could take the shortcut, which is how gaming usually is, where I could just go and pay to skip that work and do that, right? And so I think that's something that else is missed in this game, in this system. But let's go ahead and see my Gigantamax. I have 3 of them so far. They worked really good against that other Pokemon when we all went in that second time, and I put that in there. Definitely wasn't just me, but it's a fun system. I enjoy it. I'm a little cautious in going all in right now because I think things can change. I would say just be patient, let the things change. Don't feel like you're missing out. I do believe, like one of the gentlemen said, that eventually they're gonna have maybe even bigger parties coming out for some of these Eternamax type things, and that will be even more challenging. So it is a building experience. It seems like they kind of are setting us up to be able to build to that right now, based on the Gigantamax, the Dynamax that have come out. They're kind of leading us into these Pokemon. So overall, fun system, challenging, overpaid, maybe a little too challenging, maybe needs a little bit of refinement. I like the particle system where I can do the 1 free per day, or I can pay for it, but I don't know how much I'm gonna pay for it, because while I would love to get the shinies and everything like that, at the end of the day, they're only good in that Dynamax system and Gigantamax system, and I can use them elsewhere, but now it kind of made other things in the game irrelevant a little bit in some regard. Like, why would I ever do a regular Blastoise raid when I could do a Gigantamax Blastoise raid, you know? So it's kind of like this hierarchy that as soon as something new comes out, it's kind of like a new re-strategization of where do I put my resources, time, and effort. So let me know in the comments below what you guys thought, what your experience was. Did you guys get a shiny, hundos, and everything like that? And the last thing, if you're gonna keep it this expensive, here's the last idea I'm gonna give you. Make it at least a 12-12-12 to be able to catch. Don't make it a regular raid battle. Don't make it regular raid battle stats. Make it 12-12-12 so at least you have a better opportunity at getting more Pokemon, especially since it's like you should be honoring of the fact that a lot of people have put a lot of time and effort into building a lot of other Pokemon. And so at least give them an advantage to, or an incentive to want to do these battles, as opposed to like, you know, I got a 10, 13, 10 Charizard. It's like, bro, I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna raid for Hundo Gigantamax. There's no way I'm doing that. That's why, for me personally, I'm thinking that I would rather get some of these lucky, and even if they're 14, 13, 14s, power it up to level 40 for 80,000 Stardust and use that. That's like in the back of my mind, that's my strategy right now. So I'm just gonna share that with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy that strategy, because then it's useful. And then eventually when I have Pokemon that are gonna be needed to be actually at a decent level 40 Pokemon for the most part do pretty well, then I can use those. So that's it. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you. and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.